are now tuned into The Money Zone.
Hey guys, welcome to the Money Zone. I'm your host, Folasade, the Accountability Accounting Guys, and I'm excited to be here with you guys on this Tuesday. Kind of be very tired, been studying my butt off for my upcoming exam, but I am here and excited. And tonight is a special night, guys, because we have the CEO and Vice President of Shair. So guys, you've probably heard of like Turo. You've probably heard of maybe it was another company that I've heard of, but like Turo is the one that's really dominating, right? And so, but in Canada, okay, and it's kind of cool because they have a whole entrepreneurial concept behind it with the goal to really help the individual owners make some money. So guys, this will be an amazing show. So I would advise you guys, if you're thinking about leasing your vehicle out and doing what we consider car sharing, right? And that's their name, Car Share, right? So this will be the show that you want to watch. So do me one favor, head over to ripradionetwork.com, share the video from whatever platform that you're presently watching us right now. And if you are watching or listening to us on replay as well, please share the replay as well. And do me one favor right now. You want to go and grab your pen and your paper so you can take some notes throughout the show as well. And don't forget to join our mailing list by going to bit.ly/get TMZ, get notified. Okay. And then also do me one favor, head over to Instagram and follow our guest at Car Sharing, like SH, like hair. Sharing Car Share on Instagram. Follow them on Instagram as well. So guys, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick little break and then we'll be right back. guys, welcome to the Money Zone. I'm your host, Folasade, the Accountability Accountant, guys. Okay, so if you guys are just tuning in, we have two special guests coming on to the show. Okay, the CEO and the president of car sharing. So, guys, let me go ahead on and introduce them, and then we're going to welcome on to the Money Zone. So, in his 19 years in the mortgage industry, founder and CEO of Shair, Greg Martell encountered countless people who could barely afford to pay their mortgage. Back then, he helped by finding his clients the best deals. For instance, lower rates on purchases and refinances. But in 2020, he had an epiphany. What if there was a way to turn financial liabilities into assets? So all of you guys know what they say, assets over liabilities, or learn how to convert your liabilities to assets. All of you guys on Instagram, Facebook that's watching this, you've heard that, right? Okay. So what if he was always wondering, what if there was a way to turn financial liabilities into assets? So starting with cars, which spend an astounding 95% of their time parked. After many trials and tribulations, leasing cars out himself, he realized there was so much more that needed to be done, not only to educate the public on how to make money with their dream cars, but also set a higher standard for renters, hosts alike. Okay, so why do car share do what they do? So car share, they feel like they cracked the code, guys, in car sharing. They have a vision to empower people to take advantage of financial opportunities that's not normally available to them, while making sure that their assets and information are secure as possible. Okay, so just give me one shake now. Let me go to Garrick and introduce a little bit of background about Garrick as well, and then we're going to welcome them on to the Money Zone. So Garrick was born in Germany to military parents and has lived in Texas, California, Florida, and Nevada. He attended high school in Las Vegas and also raced motocross at the age of 8 and raced cars at the age of 14 around different courses all over the world. And it's so interesting that Garrick's background like that, because guys, we always talk about using the skill set that you already have possessed from childhood in your business now. That's just like I was just telling one of my friends yesterday, that's just like learning how to tie a shoe. We use that every day. So he was fascinated with the stock market. And then, give me one second. He was fascinated with the stock market at an early age and opted out of college life in favor of starting his career in business. So, guys, help me welcome Greg Martell and Garrick to the Money Zone.
How's it going?
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. I was like, okay, let me see how I'm going to take this approach. Should I just focus on the owners or spin a little bit and give them a piece of both the company and you guys' background? So right off the bat, first of all, we want to say thank you so much for being here tonight and really just sharing the amazing opportunities that you have. So guys, we're basically, the theme of tonight's show is to basically, the goal with them is to learn how to turn your liabilities into assets. And I don't know, and you guys are heavy online because I did see that you have a large online presence. You've probably been hearing that saying for so long, assets over liabilities or asset versus liabilities. So where did that overall concept basically come from, Craig?
I think originally having a finance background in the mortgage sector was the start of it, taking applications and seeing client after client apply for a mortgage for their family, and noticing that their car payment was combined between Mr. and Mrs., between the average, the American and Canadian, roughly between $1,300 and $1,400 a month, which is a mortgage payment for itself. So years and years of seeing people not afford their dream home and having these two cars parked in the driveway. that are being utilized probably, I don't know, 5% of the time. The car just sits in the actual driveway. And so 95% of the time, the car just sits there. You're paying 100% for that car on a monthly basis. So watching that over the years and then seeing some other platforms that have that type of opportunity for people to host their car in a peer-to-peer forum, and then testing it out when we first started to decide to market a car or two, and then noticing a massive gap between the Turos of the world and what we wanted to kind of bring out to I guess to the sector.
Mm. You know, that's pretty interesting because especially since COVID, like literally if it was 95% then, it's officially like 99.9%. And it's just interesting because like my car is now sitting outside and I try to see whether or not I can list my car because I'm going to list my car on your site. I was like, oh, okay. So they're only in that particular area so far and everything. So tell me, how do we make money? So we list the car. What is the concept? Is it just like Turo? When we think comparison, competition, where do we stand with that?
Yeah, so we're in all states except New York currently.
Okay.
As far as where you can list cars, where you can rent cars, and no, I think Turo's paved the way a lot of the way. Like we started out as Turo hosts, we never had the intention of doing anything. And we were able to make money with it, but there was some things that we saw could be a little bit different. And so for us, the focus is associating risk or mitigating risk, because just like any asset, whether it's a rental property or whether you're renting out your vehicle, there's an associated risk. And if the risk outweighs the reward, nobody's ever going to do it, and you're not going to have something that's practical that the everyday person is going to do. And so for us, the way to do that is through technology that we use to authenticate our hosts, our renters, anybody that comes on the platform, being able to utilize technology to authenticate them, associate risk with the specific transactions, and mitigate that risk is one of the major differences between us and anybody else. So we are the only peer-to-peer car sharing platform given permissible purpose from Equifax to see soft pull data, the same data that an insurance company sees when you apply for insurance.
Wow. So what is that? Is it Lexus? Oh my goodness. I cannot think of it. Lexus. It's one of those things that when I used to be an insurance agent, I used to see those all the time. And we would have to mitigate or like dispute things through them. That is, okay, guys. So you know how they say when you work behind or you've been in the position, you can do it the best. So this is where they come into place. They were hosts. Now I see with the connection, and this is what makes us as entrepreneurs so amazing, because what we can find is a great idea, but then we can take it even further. And they looked at the concept of, okay, if we're focusing on hosts, then we need to have a certain form of protection. I'm going to be honest. I was considering listing my car on Turo. Now I'm pretty hesitant because now I need to go back and read the fine print. I'm going to end up probably putting my car on your site now because I don't think they're focused on the host. I don't think their concept and the percentages and the breakdown that I saw. And it's interesting because I was just doing this prior to you guys even coming on the show. And so their rates may not even be that well, or the insurance package so yeah, guys. So if you are a host now on Turo, I advise you to go to CarShare now and put your car out there. You already are a host. You're already part of the market. You're used to it, and they have better protection because they come from your background. They know how it feels. Okay, so this is exciting, guys. Okay, so now, alrighty, so we're on the platform. So now how do we make our money? Like could we really cover our mortgage just by hosting? Like, is the possibility of building some type of savings? Like, how do we get started to make money?
Yeah, 100%. Everything. So to touch on that, if you're already a Turo host, there's some technology that we've integrated with called carsync.io. And you can kind of aggregate all your data. So wherever you already have your listings, you'll post your cars on Shair. You can manage one car across all platforms. So we've covered the expense to do that. It's completely free for any of our users, so that if they're already in the car sharing marketplace with any one of the other companies, they can come on board as well. But as far as making money goes, it's just like Airbnb or anything else. So you set your price. You can adjust that price on the fly. Busy weekends coming up, raise the rates. It's dead during the week, but you don't need your car. Lower the rates to get it rented. You can offer discounts weekly, monthly. You set the hours of availability in which you can pick up and drop off the car. So you're really in control of all of that. And so depending on your area, your schedule, your lifestyle, and what your goals are, how much you're trying to get it rented per month, whether you only have it available a few days or every day, it's very dynamic to each specific situation. As far as earning money and covering car payments and savings, the cap rates on some of these vehicles are really impressive in different markets. Obviously, it's not like one car fits everywhere, but there is a car for everywhere. So it's very interesting and dynamic.
And it's interesting now because with all of us having that asset there, some of us still want other cars. We still want to have that experience, and we have that opportunity at our hands through platforms like you guys. So if you were if you were a normal Turo host, right? The way they did it, guys, they took it, the entrepreneurial part, they made it so easy for you guys. They connected the platforms, okay? So instead of setting up things on 2 different platforms, 2 different backgrounds, informations, 2 descriptions, 3 descriptions, use their platform. It can sync across, and you can make money across the board. So it's like having an Etsy and your Shopify automatically syncing between each other. So guys, head over and definitely check out their platform, especially if you're already a host. Okay, so yeah, perfect. Thank you, Trump. ShareYourCar.com. That works,
or CarShare, CARSHAR.com. So you go CarShare.com. We're all over the U.S. except New York, and in the App Store as well.
And yeah, so no, I'm excited because right now no one in my zip code is hosting with you guys. So that's good. So that means my truck might be in high demand as well and make all of the money. So guys, this is what I'm saying. This is an opportunity. So first to market, first on different platforms. Remember, there was the first people that live stream on Facebook, the first people to do periscopes. They're already millionaires. The first people that hit the platforms are really the ones that get it at a good spot. So guys, definitely after tonight's show, if I were you, head over. Okay. So right now the rental industry is booming. I don't know what's going on. The market is so crazy right now. Okay. So with the short supply of almost everything, okay, how does CarShare alleviate that problem?
Well, the supply chain itself is a problem in the car industry for sales for sure and resale. So if you're selling a car right now, it's the time to do so. If you're buying a car, it's not the right time to be in the market. So and rent-a-car side of things during COVID, because of the amount of portfolio that rent-a-car companies have for inventory, they had thousands, hundreds of thousands of vehicles that weren't moving because of the shutdown, and essential travel was the only means of travel for a long period of time. So those companies sold most of their inventory to keep the cash kind of floating, I guess. And then when they came back into reopening, they tried to buy up the inventory, and because of the chips and the supply chain, cars and manufacturers weren't building for a period of time. So there's a big shortage of vehicles. So for renting a car right now, it is like 100% occupancy. So it's like imagine having a hotel room and having every room always booked. That's what it's like in the car industry if you're looking for a vehicle. So now that travel is starting to pick up and more people are looking to take their family away finally to get it, because it's, most people are vaccinated or are allowed to travel now. It's out of the question to try to like grab a rental car the day of when you just arrive at the airport, like back in the day, and I'll just grab a rental car when I get to the airport. Things have changed. So it's definitely great if you're a host, if you're looking to make some money aside and have that, utilize some of that liability and turn it into a cash flow item. It's the time to do so. for
Yeah.
sure. One thing that we want to definitely change is the way people think about car ownership. That's one thing that our competitors don't do. Is yes, we're big on financial literacy, but also financial literacy is why spend money on a car payment when you don't need to as well. So if you have a car already or looking to become have other streams of revenue, then definitely be a host and list your car. And if you're debating on that lease is up or you're debating on buying another car, maybe don't. Maybe just apply, get authenticated through our process, and then just use a vehicle when you need to. And I think that's where we want to go long term is really change car ownership and the way that belief system that people have that I have to own a car, but it's only being used 5% of the time. For the majority of people, I think that would be something where we want to be in the future. We have a lot of different ideas of where that's going to go and how that will look. But I think we're really preparing for a big change, and we want to kind of be leaders in that sector for sure.
That's actually really amazing. I think I read somewhere that you guys focus on maybe not us necessarily hosting the vehicles or having them, but basically we having fleets of them and operating things. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So what I did when I first launched Shair, and I think currently is I have my own fleet on the side that I rent out to renters. So I have about 30 vehicles right now.
Okay.
Anywhere from a basic SUV to a high-end sports car. And the range varies from $60, $69 a day for a vehicle up to $2,000 a day for a Rolls Royce. So that's the kind of range that's out there. And again, a host, like Eric said, you can set whatever pricing you want, whatever parameters, like a 2-day minimum, 3-day minimum for your vehicle. So it really depends on where you want to go. What happened with us is that I started off in trying out different platforms, not thinking that we'd ever be in this industry. And we started off, I had a G-Wagon, I think at the time, and in the first month I posted my G-Wagon on a couple of different platforms. I think I netted $4,500, netted actually the payment on it. And then after I bought a couple other vehicles, and then I was making anywhere between $5,000 to $6,000 a vehicle after insurance and so on. So then I thought to myself, well, what happens? How far can I go with this, with continually having these vehicles rented? And then 6 months later, we had 25, 30 vehicles. We were averaging 20 days a month rented. And the average daily amount was over $250 a day. Wow. So it was like 160, 150 grand gross revenue. Wow. And then after paying insurance and some financial payments on some of the vehicles, it worked out to be close to like 80 to 90,000 net a month.
Wow.
So it's a pretty big business if you really think about it, of how many times people open businesses and try to grow a business and to net 80 to 90,000 a month doing something from your garage or from your own home. Yeah, is quite unique. So there's a lot of people that start off with peer-to-peer car sharing with one car, go to two, and the next thing they're quitting their job and they're doing this full time and they're making they're having their life on they're living their life on their terms and they get to drive nice cars and get paid to do so.
I actually love this, and I'm just smiling because this is the time, guys. Everything has changed. Think about it. If you have a car that's been sitting outside 95% of the time and you take good care of it, put it on their site. Try it out. You might as well try to turn that liability right now into definitely an asset. But then also, I didn't even, and you have me now thinking bigger. I knew I could have like 10 cars or whatever, because I'm starting off small myself. Now I'm like, okay, 30 cars, 40 cars, 50 cars. I may have to get a bigger lot of the street. And so this is great opportunity for all of you entrepreneurs. And if you want to get your feet wet into starting your business, this is like a no-brainer. You don't have to go register business to get started. You don't have to do any of that stuff, right?
Yeah, no, it's completely free for anybody to go and post their car, and they'll integrate with our payments. Oh, whoa, got me. They'll integrate with our payment software, so they'll have a W-9 from there. So if they do have an entity that owns the vehicles or however they want to be taxed at the end of the year, personal or pass through LLC, they'll be fine and able to do that.
Yes, see, guys. So this is your easy way. Think about it. We're going into the end of the year. You have that car. You've been watching everybody on the gram, Facebook, talk about all of what they're doing, and you're trying to figure out how to get your feet wet. This might be an easy way for you to get started.
Just
Okay.
think about this. Think about driving the car of your dreams, that Lamborghini or that Porsche 911 convertible or that SUV Rolls Royce, and getting paid to do it. Like, think about driving the nicest cars you've ever wanted and making money doing it.
Yes.
Like, people don't realize how easy that is. I always, we pull to the light, a red light, you look over and someone with a nice car beside you, or a nice car, like, I want that person pay for that car and it loses money every month, and I'm getting paid to drive this car right now. And it's just something I wish I thought of when I was a lot younger, because I went through, that phase of always buying a nicer car and telling my buddies about it, and always like talking about wanting the bigger house and the nicer car. And then you realize that, the game of finance is learning how to, like, the wealthiest people have money work for them, and they don't work for money. You don't work to make money, you let money work for you. And I think this is a good example of buying things that you really like and having a life you really want, and having these not so much assets, but actual like entities making money for you, and a cash, because the asset goes up in value. This is more of a cash flowing asset, where a cash flows on a monthly basis, but the overall value of the product goes down, right, on a monthly basis or annual basis. So instead of thinking of an asset like a house, where typically in history over a 10-year market house usually increases in value, this is more of a cash flowing asset that brings you, turns a liability into something that cash flows positive. And then you can change what you're driving. You're driving that minivan, and it's not practical to have that 911 in California. You get that 911, it could be out 20 days a month. You make $5,000-6,000 off that 911. You have it for 10 days for yourself on the weekends with your spouse. So it's just mindset. It's changing the mindset and understanding that these things can work for you. It should be working for money all the time.
Yeah.
911 is a Porsche, by the way.
You know what? I love that. And you said something that hit the nail on the wall, that we have to change the mindset behind it, because most people think, well, I have to go get a rental property first. I have to do this. I have to go get a property before I can make passive income, or, this residual income or something like that. Whereas with this, like you said, it's immediate cash flow, and it's almost doing the same thing. It's just that you're not going to have the inequity, when it goes to sell the product.
It's funny how you mentioned, I have to wait to get that house before I do this. It's amazing. It's great that you said that, because so many people, you're right, think that way. And to be honest, this way is almost nothing in your pocket. Most times you don't have to put anyone down. And if anything, this is going to get you your house. You can store away that money, and you'll be able to save that down payment that you can't do conventionally with your traditional job day in, day out. So you're exactly right. You definitely don't have to wait to get that house to cash flow before you get into that. This is what's going to get these vehicles will be able to give you the opportunity to buy that house and create enough of a savings.
Yeah.
Good
and
point.
It's interesting, because I was just telling my cousin with my truck, and she was like, oh, that's what rich people do. Y'all don't care about how much it is, but just as long as it's residually coming in, every month. And I was just, just interesting, because we're not thinking right now, before we go and jump into a big business, or waiting to save for this rental property, or waiting for the tax lien sale, or waiting for a company to foreclose, sell some foreclosures. No, guys, this can be your means to that end. So if your goal is to buy a bigger house, if your goal is to save 50K, is your goal to buy a rental property, is your goal to, be able to invest more into your other business, or, and maybe put a savings for your family, whatever the case may be, by you joining CarShare, guys, it gives you that opportunity, and then also the protection from the host side, because they were a host as well. And it's no better way to experience a platform, especially when it comes down from people that have been in your shoes and they know. So, and then honestly, because where they are in the business, this might be a really good time, because your customer service questions, they might be able to tweak their systems. Whatever you bring to the table, if you're an experienced host, your comments, your questions really matter to them. So for them to be able to tweak their product and their service and make it absolutely amazing for you guys. So you want to be the first, maybe in your city, first, maybe in your zip code, because like they said, they're all over. But just like when I checked in my zip code, I'm going to be the first. When you guys go there, if you know my zip code, you're going to see my truck there as soon as we're after my exam tomorrow. I can't do it tomorrow after my exam. So guys, do me one favor, head over to Instagram, follow Shair. Follow Shair, and then also follow Greg and follow Garrick as well. Do I have you guys' Instagram? Give me 1 second.
Yeah, mine's Greg J. Martel. Just in case you wonder.
Don't follow that one. We don't know who that is.
Put it in the
Might
chat.
not like it.
So when we come back from break, I can, have available to easily drop you guys' Instagram as well. So head over if you guys watching me on Instagram or you're watching us on Facebook, wherever you are. Go to your computer, do just like I did. And let me just do a screen share before we go, because it's very easy breezy and straightforward and very clean website. You'll be able to get straight to everything. Alrighty, so right off the bat, well, this is not the home page, but if you were to come to the home page, you see, you just go right here, list your car, okay, and then list your car. If you want to rent a car, you will go ahead and do rent a car, okay? And look, they have everything. And then whatever they don't have, that might be opportunity for you to have in your area. We have to start thinking like entrepreneurs, business people, because it's opportunity in the land. And I guarantee you, if you put car sharing, the hashtag, you're going to see people with their fleets post how much extra money. And even if you think about it, and don't take it as far as they did and have 40 vehicles and then start a whole platform, think about it like this. It can be your side hustle. It can be your extra Christmas money. It can be all of those things and basically keep you from pinching pennies, guys. And we know robbing Peter to pay Paul, okay? So think about it. Go to CarShare. Check the guys out. Guys, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick little break. And so normally when I go into like second half, I'm kind of feeling the energy of the guest. And so I go into a little bit more practical, like entrepreneur things. So I would love if you guys can maybe give them a few tips on how to get started, or, like any bumps in the roads of being an experienced host, some practical stuff. If you guys don't mind as well when we come back, okay? So do me one favor, guys. Head over to Instagram, follow them at CarShare. Grab your pen and grab your paper, guys, because we're going to be talking about practical advice when we get back. So your refund can still be high. Or if it's not the case, your refund would definitely be lower. So that's really a few of the reasons why many of you are going to be shocked, thrown back, taken aback, beat up, disturbed, might be crying in your feelings because your tax refunds are much lower than what you anticipated. Your business is right on that piece of paper that I can maximize, but guess what? Many of you guys took shortcuts in your business. You've been taking shortcuts for years. So you're out of luck right now. You're looking at that pile of paper and you like, yo, you serious, Folasade? Yes, I'm serious. And I'm very serious because right now your bookkeeping is what's going to either catapult your business or be a detriment to your business. And your lack of it is definitely a detriment, especially in the situation that we're in right now, where we all need to be maximizing our deductions and paying as little bit of taxes as we legally could so we can sustain in our businesses and be able to afford our lifestyles. But if you are not doing your bookkeeping, and if you're not keeping proper records, then I guarantee you are not paying the right amount of taxes that you're supposed to pay, or you're not getting the right amount of refund that you are supposed to be getting. So if you are a business owner, the way for you to protect your wealth, your income right now is by making sure you cross your T's and dot your I's and get your bookkeeping in order and stop playing games like you out here not trying to build a successful business. Only people that don't want to be successful don't have an accountant. Only people that don't want to be successful don't do their bookkeeping. And right now, your small business is maybe somebody else's blessing if you were to get your stuff in order. you need your bookkeeping to make sure that every dollar you spend in your business is written off. Accountability matters. Accounting matters, okay? And being forthcoming matters. But most importantly, being you and staying true to yourself is what really matters. Hey guys, welcome back to the Money Zone. If you're just tuning in, I was talking with Greg Martell and Garrett. Greg is the owner, the CEO and founder of Shair, and Garrett is the vice president. We were just talking about why you should host on Shair, the amazing opportunity that's out there, how you're able to create a side hustle or big business. Like the opportunity is there, and you guys just have to go out and grab it. And I'm live on Instagram as well, and I actually was telling them that, you know, that's an additional marketplace for them. So as a business owner, you don't want to be limited to just your county or just your street. You want, you know, prime market space. And by expanding from Churro and going over to you guys, it allows them to expand their market space and marketplace and be able to make more money. So I do advise you guys, if you're watching us on the replay, you're watching us live, if you're going to watch us 5 months from now, head over to Shair and check out their platform. Okay, so you guys ready for the practical, you know, session? Okay,
let's do it.
Right. So I don't know, Gary, you want to answer this one? So if you were a starter host, you didn't really have too much success with Churro, or you didn't attempt to try to go on the platform yet, and you were on the fence, what would be the first 3 things that you would do to be able to encourage yourself to get off your couch here and get your vehicles on the platform so you can make additional money?
So I already have the vehicles, or I have to go get the vehicles?
Any way you want to spin it. I would love if you tell them how to get the vehicle. That's the best way, Gary. If you can tell them how to get the vehicle, they probably would love that.
Depending on where I'm at, I would go online and I would start searching for vehicles in my area. So like if you go on any site, you go on our site, you go, you know, Turo, you just get around, there's other sites. You can see how many trips cars have had. And we actually did this when we first started out. We went and wrote down each car, like model, year, and make, and how many times it went out, and average price, and tried to figure out, okay, which cars in my specific market are the most in demand. And then we went out and we got those cars. We got deals on those specific cars that we knew were in demand in our area. Maybe it's a truck, maybe it's a convertible. It all depends on what part of the United States you're in.
Tell them which vehicle we got.
We ended up with 2 vehicles, a Porsche 911 and a Corvette, which we would have never, ever bought. But it made sense. It made money, and it did make money. We still have 2 of them.
Yeah, the Corvette paid for itself in 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we still sold it like 2 years later. It's a great story. We bought it for like 52,000. 52,000. We had like over 30 grand in revenue on it and still sold it for over 40 something. We traded in on a Porsche that's still making money.
The 30,000 was the first year though. I think the break even point for the 52 or 53,000 was like 18 months into having that vehicle. We like to have, there's a threshold too, and Garrett can answer this too, but you don't want to have older vehicles that don't have warranty as well, because these are getting to repair costs and so on. So there's like a little bit of a sweet spot. You kind of want to be able to buy a car that's slightly used and then have it for the first 3 years of its life. That's possible.
I think we drove it once.
Yeah, it was always up. The 28 out of the 30 days that month, that car was rented.
Look, good guys, they just dropped major gems. I'm gonna try to regurgitate what they said, but it was a lot. So I advise you get over to wherever we're on all podcast platforms, Spotify, everywhere. Check the replay. But Garrett briefly said you need to do some market research, see what vehicles, how many trips, check every platform, their platform, Turo platform, everything. Then you figure out how to buy the vehicle. They ended up getting a loan on the vehicle, which you guys can do that too. And they said they paid it off, y'all, 18 months. How many of you have had a car loan for 84? I think they're giving car loans there for like 84 months now. They're giving like car loans for like 84 months now. So they were able to pay off one of the vehicles in like 18 months. And so, guys, it's not only the opportunity for you to, live a little bit free, but this might be what breaks that generational curse. Like, guys, I really want you to take heed to the opportunity that we're having right now on this platform. Is that this you might be hesitant. What people might say, because if the color of my skin, you probably like, oh, Folasade, such and such might think that I can't afford my car. No, don't worry about what nobody says. It's not about if you can afford it or not, because the truth is, if you don't put the vehicle out there, you're going to have to pay for it regardless, right? The reality is you might as well just put it out there and see what happens. That's all I'm asking.
Yep.
Make some money, message us and add us on the gram, and let us know. Folasade, you told me I did it, Garrett. Hey, I made 1,500. I made this, whatever the case may be, guys. Okay, so then Greg said you have to be very mindful of operating, getting vehicles onto the platform that you want to operate, guys, without the warranties. And I know some of you probably didn't think about that. You want to make sure have the warranties so you can have less costs, repair costs, wear and tear, things like that, especially if it's a decent car. Remember, they said they ended up having a Corvette. You want to, if you're going to do an Audi, Escalade, Mercedes, whatever it is, very expensive, try to make sure you're in warranty. Okay, guys, so are you warming on up? Are you guys comfortable over there?
We're good.
I would say one last piece to that. The Corvette was not a vehicle that we wanted. So try to make the decision based on information. If you're really looking to do it as a business, don't just, I like this car. Do some research on that maintenance and expenses and get, the best one. Your rental property isn't going to be your dream house.
Right. And
also location too. So this is Southern California specific we're talking about. So it would be different if you're in Northern New York or like Michigan. The vehicles would be a lot different, but would yield the best return.
Yeah. Like in my area, the common vehicles is like that Jeep Wrangler, the Mercedes, you know, and so it's not the core. Well, they're starting to get a little bit of fancy over here now, guys. So yeah, so if the opportunity is there, you have to do your research. Okay, so we got the new entrepreneur. They had the vehicle. They got started. Now, I've been saying and advocating for them to be on multiple platforms. Do you agree or disagree with me?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's opportunity. It's getting in front of faces. So we have a lot of hosts that have their cars all over, and they love our customer service and the way that we handle claims and when things get bad. So they want their car out there, but then they'll start bringing their customers over to us because they like working with our platform, ease of use. The customers are more satisfied with it, and if the customer's happy, they're going to come back and rent again. So yeah, I mean, we would encourage that for sure. It's your business. You got to market it well, but we noticed that a lot of people end up here anyways.
Wow. Look, guys. So look, Garrick said, look, you're going to be over there for 5 minutes. You might as well just, it's not going to last. When they drop the ball on your call, when they don't respond, when their system crash, you're going to be right over there, guys. Think about what he's saying. And, you know, when you dealing with entrepreneurs and we're live and he said it. So he like, okay, they A1 customer service, get over this so you can now get experience on that as well. Okay, so last, because we're winding down, we have like 2 minutes. So if you guys weren't hosts, you didn't have all the background you guys have, what would you say to that person that don't have that experience? I have, you have, and have very low costs, very low money too. Where would they get started? What should they do? What would be your advice to them? The two of you, if you don't mind.
Well, I'll go first. My advice would be, I'll take the easy one. I'll go first. It would be to try to get a loan. So if you have no money, I would try to get a loan. We've actually bought the Corvette cash for that, and we've paid it off in 18 months. But if you can get something where you can get, like, leasing companies, most leasing companies won't allow you to do peer-to-peer car sharing if you lease it, but if you finance it, they do, or they don't say you can't, at least. So you can finance like up to 100% of a newer car, if not 100%. And so little money, if not zero money out of your pocket would be number one. Now, the next question is, well, I have no money, I can't afford a fancy car. So that's fine. Just get a practical car then, a car that would be used on a regular basis. So any type of SUV, or you know what really does well in like Las Vegas is the top rental vehicle on a peer-to-peer platform isn't the fancy Ferrari or the Porsche, it's a minivan. So you can get a minivan for very low cost on a monthly basis. And yes, you might only make, at the end of the month, might make $1,500, not that 15 grand, but you start there. And the main thing is, you know, I think Warren Buffett always says you can't get rich overnight, or when people fail on the stock market, it's because you're trying to get rich overnight, you're trying to get rich fast. And wealth is created over time.
Thank you.
Yeah, so take your time and just start. That's the first step, is just start. And then 6 months later, get another one. And then 6 months later, get another one. And you keep trying and testing the proof of concept and stick to what works. So the first piece of advice is get off your butt and do it, and take action. That's number one. And number two is make sure you buy the vehicle that is affordable to what you can afford. And then it doesn't matter if it's fancy or not, just create revenue. So if it's $200 a month and you make $600 a month, you're netting $400. That's $400 more than you started with. Yeah. So, and it's just about creating starting that momentum, and then over time you can start multiplying that and compounding it.
That's just like I think it was you, Greg, that said you guys are just like the Airbnb of the car business, same, just like that. Exactly. Oh, perfect. Gary, you got something for us?
No, I mean, I would say along the same lines, it's really just taking action. It's even people that have cars sitting around like, well, I don't know if I'm going to, my car payment's high. We see this all the time, coming from auto finance, from mortgage. People are what's called upside down in their car, which means they already have a car that they can't afford and they can't get out of it because it's worth so much less than they owe. Maybe they rolled payments into it, or they were in a tough situation where a car broke down and they had to carry over negative equity into a new loan. There's a way to offset that payment. So if your payment's $600, $700, $800 a month, and that's just a lot for you, but you do use your car, you're going to work every day, and you put it up for a couple days a month, and it's just say it brings in $400, and your car payment's $800. That's 50% of your car payment. And so if you can afford the $800 and pay $400 on top of it, pretty soon you're not in a negative equity situation. You can get out of it, make better decisions for, whatever the need is. A lot of times that's because you needed more space or your car broke down. You had to get a new one. So you're forced into this higher payment situation. This doesn't have to just be for a business. It can start out as just alleviating your monthly debt, your monthly obligations, to the point where maybe your credit gets better, and then you can finance a second car and then start the whole full-time rental side.
And that's what I said. It could be your means to whatever the end is. Just have a little extra savings, pay whatever it is, your credit card down. Guys, thank you so much. I enjoyed tonight's show, guys. So if you were just coming in, if you've never heard of Shair and you are a host presently on any other platform, just head over there, check out their platform. And as Garrick said, you're not going to go back. You're not going to go back. So you're going to end up making money. But guys, just think about it like this. It's not about making $3,000 immediately. It's about the little bit of action, a little bit of money, and you just being resourceful with everything that you guys obtain. And you can use their platform to achieve whatever said goal it is. If it's just to save an extra $50 a week, you might be able to do that. Set the goal, do what you guys need to do. And then once you guys sign up on their platform, add them and let them know Folasade sent you guys. So I appreciate Greg. Thank you so much for creating this amazing platform. Garrick, thank you for backing him and supporting him, on this journey of building a business and dominating. And look, don't forget about the little people when you guys blow up and you be like, okay, yes, okay. Don't forget about the little people, but just keep doing what you're doing, because guys, you're changing people's lives and they may not think about it, but that extra $400 in my community will definitely help a lot of our people. So continue to keep doing what you're doing, create these platforms, and just make it easier for the host so they can make their money and dominate and just live a little bit more comfortable. So thank you guys, and we appreciate you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you, Folasade. If anybody has any questions, we have 24/7 live chat on the website or the app. They can go ask any questions they want, and it'll be our team responding.
Perfect. And like I said, guys, I will be able to give you my experience because I was actually venturing into this business, and I don't find out our guests until like a couple of days before. So when I said, oh my gosh, this is so interesting. So I'm not even going to put mine on Turo. I didn't even do it yet. Just got the tags. So I'm going to just put it on you guys' platform, and then you'll see my grams, my stories and stuff when my car get rented. It's just so interesting. Timing is amazing. So thank you again, guys, and good night. And I will see you all. I don't think we have the show next week, Trump. No, I think I'll see you guys next week. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.